Just one sec. Okay, sanitized. Hello again, it's me. I hope you're doing all right during the global pandemic, aka civil unrest, aka what's going on? Back in November, when the world was fairly normal, I made a video about late night hosts. And at the time, it seemed like it mattered a lot to me. Little did I know, there was gonna be a perspective shift on what's important in my life. But I really liked talking about it, and in that video, I talked about how the format of late night is pretty much aged out. It worked really well when there was no internet, but it seems like YouTube has kind of killed that format. There is better interviews in podcasts and on YouTube. The late night monologue is really aged out and shitty now. When you can access the best stand-up specials of all time whenever you want, it's kind of hard to watch even my favorite, Conan, make a joke about Kim Kardashian's butt that day. I don't fucking care, man. And so at the end of the video, I talked about the fact that Singh moving to late night is the opposite of what needs to happen. We need late night to move and adapt with the internet. And, you know, to my surprise, every late night host listened to me. They all listened to me. That's how big my video was. That's the video, guys. I got new Yikes merch. The summer line came out. If you want to buy it, that really support me, hell yeah. No, okay. So tragedy struck the world, and we have a global pandemic making it impossible for us to get that sweet James Corden content. What would I do without James Corden sucking the dick of every celebrity alive? And for a time, I wanted to make a sequel to my old video talking about how late night has actually changed. But it didn't feel right for a while. Right when they started, what am I gonna tear them apart for trying to get their show going in a pandemic?
Hello! Welcome to day 2 of my special quarantine edition of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. As you can see, I've migrated from my bathtub to my fire pit.
But now it just feels kind of right. Their shows have been going online for a long time. So let's take a look at the new and improved late night. So I will talk about the contents of everybody's show and how they use their sets, but first I just want to talk about the physical sets themselves. I think this is the biggest feeling that late night hosts just became YouTubers during quarantine, because they all look like regular YouTube sets for the most part. At least when they started, everybody was just shooting in their living room, and Colbert has continued to do that for a very long time. But a really interesting one I want to talk about is Seth Meyers. So for a good deal of quarantine, Seth Meyers was shooting in the attic of his house. He had this small attic door that he would always make references and jokes to, and he'd also switch out parts of his set as an inside joke. Now, what's cool about this is constantly Seth is referencing what the commenters are saying about his set. Actively in his show, he's talking to and about his internet audience and what they have to think about the show. And I feel like I haven't seen this level of interaction with an internet fan base since Conan used to do the fan corrections, like back in the day. So more recently, he stayed at his in-laws for a while, and there was this photo of the sea captain behind him. And they did a bit where the sea captain talks, and immediately I was like, this is bad. This is not good. He should stop doing this. And I wasn't alone. Seth referenced in the next episode that everybody hated the sea captain, but he kept doing it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters. Now here at the show, we have always been responsive to viewer feedback and criticism, so I'd just like to say to those of you who are not necessarily huge fans of my new sidekick, the sea captain, we hear you and we are taking it under advisement. Now you should know this negative feedback does hurt his feelings.
Sea captains are people too.
And after a few episodes, I was like, oh shit, that's Will Forte. And Will Forte just keeps doing the bit. Every day that Seth has a show, he does the fucking sailor bit even though people hate it. And they make references to the fact that people hate it, but they keep doing a bit. And I can't think of something more internet than doing a joke on YouTube that the commenters hate just to annoy them. And then recently, Seth's set has devolved into like this insane quarantine fever dream where Fred Armisen talks as a duck, and there's like a drawing of Seth's wife where she talks as well, and there's this idea that he's like losing his mind in quarantine.
Hello, little girl.
Wait, what is this?
A bit that's gone on too long.
It's really interesting and cool, and I'm really glad Seth did it.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters. I've now been trapped inside without an audience since March, and as some of you have noticed, I've gone a little insane.
Now, of the more boring ones, I would say the most boring sets are actually the highest production value ones. Kimmel is off right now, but Kimmel and Corden seem to have turned their garages into these very cool looking sets. And I don't know, it looks cool, but I think this is a problem with a lot of YouTubers, is the second they upgrade, they think the show's gonna automatically be better. But on the internet, it feels like you almost lose something when it becomes more official but isn't on TV. So I don't know, when I was watching, I just felt bored, and I don't know if that's because I would say Kimmel and Corden are probably the most boring of all the hosts, but I don't know. Now, when it comes to Jimmy Fallon, I think he did a great job, especially in the beginning of quarantine, of incorporating his entire family, especially his kids, in the show. It was cute. Starting on July 13th, though, Jimmy returned to 30 Rock with a social distancing set, and honestly, I really have nothing to say other than it's good. It feels like a mix between the personal internet type stuff and old late night. The roots are there to laugh at his stuff. It's fun. Also, while I was making this video, Corden and Colbert both returned to versions of their sets, but there's no way to tell if the shows are good or not. It's been like 2 days. Now, Conan, I will save for the very end. I have a lot of thoughts of what I want to say about him, and I really think it wouldn't be fair to just place him in the reviews with everybody else. So with Stephen Colbert, I was the most disappointed in him with the last video. I don't think he's the worst late night host, but as I said, I think the Colbert Report is like one of the best pieces of satire of all time, one of the best late night shows of all time, one of the best shows of all time. Obviously, if you disagree with me politically, you're not gonna like the show, but I love it. But my biggest concern and my biggest complaint with Colbert is the type of comedy that he does against Trump. Now, don't get me wrong. I hate the fucking guy, all right? I like jokes about him, but as people on Twitter would say, there's this type of comedy that they call Orange Man Bad that is so cringy. It's that type of, oh no, Cadet Bone Spur, you couldn't go to war in Vietnam because you were too busy eating cheeseburgers with your tiny hands. That shit makes me want to just take a leap out my window right here. It's pretty much the equivalent of the, are you triggered? You're triggered right now. It's opposite ends of the aisle. Same type of childish, shitty, repeat the same joke for 5 years comedy. So I came in prepped, kind of planning to criticize Colbert more than other people, but I was surprised to find that Colbert's show is more endearing than I expected. Here's a clip that I absolutely love.
Ready? Okay. Sorry I'm late. Are we ready to go?
We are ready.
Are you ready to go, Peter McGee?
Yes, but you're inappropriately dressed.
My 91-year-old father-in-law wants to know why I'm inappropriately dressed. I'm perfectly appropriately dressed because they can only see me from the waist up. They don't know that I'm wearing sandals and shorts. Now you've blown it. You've blown it, old man.
So instead of coming out in a suit and talking to an audience, you know, he just starts his video joking with his wife and joking with his father-in-law and showing that he's not well equipped to film. And I like to see that shit. It's endearing. It's fun. Seth's monologues aren't anything super special. They work for him. They're 3 to 4 minute kind of recaps of the news they're not going to do on a closer look. But other than that, there's not much to say about Seth's format. Corden also does kind of a micro monologue while he has his band on the Zoom call. Super smart to do. I think every host during this should have some kind of audience, and especially having Reggie on Zoom is a really good thing for him. There's not much to say about Corden's either, and the same goes for Kimmel. Kimmel's is just kind of boring. It's his normal monologue, but without an audience, so he's playing in a format that doesn't really exist in the spot that he's in. There's no audience to listen to it, so to tell the jokes like normal is a little weird, but also he's off for the summer, so he didn't really have time to keep pushing it forward or changing. So monologues, for the most part, are, I think, a little bit better in general, but the format isn't completely changed. But I think one of late night's biggest changes is in what comes after the monologue. Now, one really good aspect to the new format of Late Night of Everyone Online, I think, is actually the Zoom call interviews. Every single actor and comedian who's on seems way more comfortable doing these interviews than on Late Night. Because let's say, we don't need to give actors, any more credit than they already get. But let's say you're an actor. And you have hundreds of people working on a film, and they all set up everything for hours, and then all the pressure is on you on camera to get things right. You do that maybe, let's say, successfully for the whole movie, and you give a good performance, but it's an indie movie, and you're not sure if people are gonna go see it and it's gonna make money. So the studio doesn't put advertising money into it, but they do put you on Kimmel, Colbert, Conan, and Fallon. Now, as the actor, it is up to you to do a fake interview in front of a crowd, pretending like it's normal conversation with anecdotes you've prepared, and all the pressure is on you to seem likable so people will go see your movie.
Nice to meet you too.
I really enjoy you on the show.
Thank you so much.
And I understand this is the first time ever on a late night show.
Yeah, this is my first time.
Yeah. It's gonna be great.
It's happening.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be over before you know it. Just
Let's
flies by.
Yeah, I'm blacking out right now.
That's not a normal conversation. That is way too loaded, because also the host has their own motives. They want to make everybody laugh, but they also want to make sure the studio doesn't get angry at them for fucking up the interview with the actor. So hanging over Late Night is this, business of selling. Now with these Zoom calls, especially because not a lot of actors or comedians have projects to promote right now, they're just in their own home, comfortable in front of a webcam, and it's just two people having a conversation. I need that back in new Late Night. I need real conversations. I don't want to see the fakeness anymore. Stop. Freeze. Time out. I forgot to record a segue here, but I have to talk about Lilly Singh for just like a little bit. So as I said, it's disappointing to see a YouTuber go into the spot of Late Night and cling to the old format seemingly more than the other hosts. All of them seem to make better YouTube segments than Lilly Singh does. Whether it's Conan's Remotes or Carpool Karaoke or Jimmy Fallon's Games, they just do better on YouTube than the one YouTuber on Late Night. So you'd think that the pandemic would be great for Lilly because all the Late Night hosts became YouTubers, and she's the only one with experience of filming videos at home. But wait! Lilly pre-tapes her Late Night show, which means none of the monologues can be topical, and all of the interviews are old, and they were pre-taping before the pandemic, so the YouTube host has a regular Late Night show right now. I understand that they pre-taped, but that's insane, right? So that's what I have to say about the youngest host in Late Night. But let's talk about... Fuck, is Conan the oldest host in Late Night now? He's the oldest host in Late Night now. Finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Conan OBrien. So Conan's show at the beginning of quarantine was pretty basic, just like everyone else. His interviews were Zoom calls from his house, and his monologues were just these kind of small videos making jokes. But then, recently, Conan started to do a different version of his show every once in a while. At the Largo in Los Angeles, he started performing in an empty theater with only Andy in the background. Andy is the only audience member, and they use this hilarious wide shot of him, like the full crowd is there, but it's just him in the very back. And I thought, oh, this is really interesting. How the hell are they going to do the monologue? And it turned into something beautiful. Let's watch a little bit of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Andy, that's enough. Went on a little long, but still, appreciate it.
That's how it happens. The fans won't let you start the show.
You're right. You're
They
right.
love you so much, or maybe they just don't want the show to start.
We've hired one of the Queen's Guard as a paid audience member. That's right. And there he is. And tell us, how's it going, Reginald? You liking America? Okay, well.
So without an audience, Conan continues to perform the old Late Night format, but the best part about it is now Andy is there to make fun of that format as they do it.
Check this out. Yesterday, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos made $13 billion in one day. Yeah. Unfortunately, most of that money was stolen off his porch.
Because, like, the boxes get stolen.
The
off.
boxes at Amazon get
yeah.
stolen, and that's why.
So during quarantine, they've almost accidentally created this parody of the late night format and how aged it is. It's reliant on an audience, so they have Andy there to make fun of every moment that needed an audience there for it. Also, I just love seeing Andy more utilized. This one feels more like a partnership than Andy being there as a sidekick. If anything, I feel like most of the laughs in this are caused by Andy rather than Conan. I think it's really special that pretty much every single late night host that has a show today credits Letterman as their hero. And that's because Letterman tried to change a format that he thought was dated. He put his own personality and twist on it, and the problem is most of these late night hosts are trying to do Letterman. But Conan, taking the correct lesson from Letterman, breaks new ground and changes things himself. And so even though he's been doing this late night format longer than everyone else, he's the one breaking new ground. And that's why he is one of my heroes. Sounded like the end of an essay of a second grader writing about his dad. The circumstances were not good to change late night, by all means. But I'm happy that they've changed. And I really hope that becoming kind of YouTubers has changed their perspective, because I think there was this air to late night hosts before where it's like, we're better than people. We have our own shows. We have our own audiences. And the internet is just like a silly side thing. And this has forced them to become regular people again. And that's cool. I like that. And I really hope they take that and learn that lesson in their shows in the future. So again, before I give the word from our sponsor, I just want to say, the Yikes summer stuff launched. I can't thank you guys enough for the support on the Yikes merch. It actually has made me tear up before. So thank you. Wear a mask, please. Stay out of social situations if you can. Here's a word from our sponsor. Goodbye. Hi, my name's Eddy Burback. You just watched my video, and I spilled water on my shirt before filming this. This video was sponsored by... Why I put mints in my mouth before I recorded it? This video was sponsored by Raycon. Usually Ray J comes in and he tells me about the product, but unfortunately Ray J texted me and he said he died. So I gotta do this one myself. What? The ghost of Ray J here to tell me about Raycon earbuds. Oh my God, Ray J, what do you have to say? That Raycon earbuds start about half the price of any other premium wireless earbud on the market? That they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands that you know? What, Ray J? I'd punch you, but my fist goes right through. Raycons are great for working from home, working out, and listening to music and podcasts for hours without driving your roommates / significant other / children / neighbors crazy. I actually would use Raycons before quarantine when Gus was on the other wall. Ray J, their everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and more compact design that gives you a nice noise isolating fit. It also comes in new fun colors, and you can click the link in the description to get 15% off your order. That's a crazy deal. And also, oh my God, ghosts are real. And it's Ray J's is a ghost? And it's Ray J is a ghost is the sentence I just said. Whew. That's buyraycon.com/Eddy for 15% off your order. So you can click that link down below. I use Raycons every day. I've said it in the ads. I use them every day. So what else do you want from me? I like earbuds. Hopefully you like this video. Maybe I'll make one. I won't wait 2 months, but maybe I will. I stream on Twitch, so I'm around. We do the podcast and I stream on Twitch, so I'm around. I'm on Twitter all the time, talking about my penis for some. I tweet about my dick a lot. I don't know why. Look how small I am in the.